Hello, and very happy to see you on my channel. In this video, we discuss Meghan and Harry's super filthy plan to control the story. Thank the Harry Markle blog for this content. Let's discuss it with me now. As the Sussex coffers, or rather the Bank of Pa, continue to provide numerous law firms with down payments for another holiday home, a week ago the duo filed another complaint, this time in California. I had to stifle a snigger when I began to read it, and I truly thought it was a spoof because the story broke about 3 a.m. UK time when normal people are asleep, and I woke up to read snippets that people had sent me. I looked up the law firm and realized it was real, although I pitied the poor person that was forced to prepare the document that read like a failed soap opera pilot script. Without a doubt, there were huge sections that the Sussex duo must have provided, and the whole thing sounded like a PR rant, warning the world that they would sue everyone who knew who the alleged John Doe's photographers were, those involved in taking images of Archie, but they would also sue anyone who attempted to buy the images. Furthermore, they appealed to the people who knew the identities of any of the parties to more or less give themselves up to them so that they could sue them. This is the real world, not Meghan's fantasy kingdom, and people are not stupid. The world owes the Sussexes nothing. Zip, zero, nada, niente. Why would any sane person approach them to tell them who they think was involved and end up getting sued by them? This isn't Crime Watch, where responsible citizens call the authorities when they suspect someone of some wrongdoings. However, this lawsuit instigated against multiple John Does is merely for show and appears to be the Sussexes attempting to control the narrative again. It appears to be a strategic lawsuit against public participation, SLAPP, which are usually aimed at intimidating and censoring the other party. One could say it's a preventative measure, while others say it restricts free speech. This has been counteracted by anti-strategic lawsuit against public participation laws that 30 states have adopted, but it probably won't apply in the case as the identities of the defendants are unknown, and if they exist probably will never be known. This appears to be an intimidation tactic, and like the rhetoric on the Sussex Royal website, it states what they want and what they intend to do. Although the case is one for the invasion of privacy, it appears to extend to all images taken that aren't authorized or staged by the Sussexes. Somehow, they didn't mind the photos of them delivering meals for charity to be published and appeared to pose for them. Was there anything worth reading in the documents? After reading the complaint that whined as usual, it was hard to take it seriously as the duo bigged themselves up again, and then stated they didn't actually know who they were suing and were attempting to appeal to the public to help them. They must be so far removed from reality to believe that people want to help them, that people think they are hard done by because the majority are laughing at them, and preoccupied with surviving the COVID-19 pandemic to even think about an absurd lawsuit that affects absolutely no one. With the recent revelations that Meghan Markle has staged paparazzi shots, several paparazzi have admitted it, perhaps this was staged so that she could instigate yet another fruitless lawsuit. She uses these lawsuits as expensive media campaigns in order to force the world to listen to her and to believe her version of events. When you look at it, these are the actions of someone who isn't mentally stable, and it's actually dangerous. To allow someone to continue this mindless course of action and not to be held to account should be cause for concern. I found this quite amusing, because it's a colorful account of them escaping a quiet Canadian home to the safety of Los Angeles, where there were few, if any, paparazzi on Vancouver Island, as opposed to thousands who live in California. As for the mesh fence, I laughed when I saw it because you can see over the fence, so the fence was merely for a headline and for dramatic effect. It does suggest that they are not renting the property though and are guests. Here they attempt to justify why they can take measures to find out who the photographers and the media outlets are, and it seems that they are thirsty to sue. Countless celebrities, real ones, carry on living in California and learn to deal with the paparazzi, and Meghan Markle, having courted them for years, and was ignored for years, knows how it works. Perhaps this is her revenge for being ignored in the past, as some photographers have said her photo was worthless and wouldn't have sold. The tone of this paragraph appears to come from an unhinged mind who is ranting, and certainly not from a lawyer, and I suspect Meghan Markle herself. It appears that they want to find out who has the photos, but the reality is no one is actually interested in buying them, and the only people who want to see them are the cult fans. For all we know, they may have been binned as useless. Their mini biographies are quite amusing, where Harry has slim pickings from the charities he can name that means something in a US court. And as for MM grasping at straws, you know she's desperate if she has to cling to the United Nations work and world vision where she didn't even last a year. As for being an entrepreneur, does she mean the business of ensnaring a British prince? Does it refer to the TIG if she made money? Or as a brand ambassador and being paid to make the same empowerment speech to anyone that would listen? I had to laugh at that part, where they are basically suing anyone that knows about the photos and are suing everyone in the world in the future. They don't understand that they aren't liked, and no one will ever come forward. But as I said, this appears to be a scare tactic. This is the Sussexes trying to control the narrative, and while they are entitled to privacy as guests in the home of the generous stranger, it appears to be a warning that no photos must ever be taken without their consent. Are they hoping to claim speculative damages by saying an amount to be proven? Meghan Markle has used this kind of wording before as a means to keep the door open for financial gain. See her first divorce papers. They are also claiming that they are pursuing this for everyone as a deterrent, to prevent others from going through the same ordeal. Although I'm sure most celebrities take it on the chin and have learned to live with it. The aggressive language used looks like they want to hang and destroy the lives of those they wish to sue, and again, the question is, why end up in Los Angeles, the paparazzi capital of the world? It's not going to stop photographers, and Meghan Markle has used them in the past to promote herself when no one else bothered her. One may look at the closing as reasonable if there was obvious and persistent harassment, but that doesn't seem to be the case. The case appears to be that Meghan Markle wants to profit solely from appearances and images with Harry and the baby, and that's how they intend to make their living independently. Harry fell for it, but this isn't a reality show, although at times it feels like it. And Meghan Markle goes to great pains in all her lawsuits to cry out that the media makes money off her through stories, clickbait, and images. Now, if she had a cut, would she be ranting and threatening lawsuits? Methinks not, because that's what she is concerned about, but dresses it up as a harassment and a lack of privacy issue. The Sussexes allegedly stepped down as working members of the royal family for a more private life, as the Queen said. But all they have done is court more publicity wherever they go and in whatever they do, and not the good kind either. If they truly wanted to be private, then why are they signing up to agencies, pitching for work, living in Los Angeles where most of the paparazzi live, and where most of the material found in tabloids and gossip magazines originates? They could have moved to Montana or Wyoming. I know Maine and Vermont are rural, but I like both of those states and wouldn't wish the residents to be encumbered with them. For a truly quiet life, if that's what they were seeking. But no, they have moved to Los Angeles, one of the major cities in the USA. Look at all those other secret squirrel appearances where a private photographer was hired and the images were then sold on. This was never about privacy, but control. This has always been a case of Meghan Markle wanting to project a certain image and to control it, and uses the need for privacy to hide what doesn't suit her proclaimed public image. Money is important to her and control, hence the need for trademarks and her insatiable need to tell people that she craves a private life. We all know that is false, as she craves attention and publicity wherever she can, and this lawsuit is merely a rant, a desire to control the media. The Harkles are becoming vexatious litigants and can keep filing these lawsuits if they choose to waste their allowance this way, but no one is going to ring up the Sussexes and tell them who the photographers are. They really need to stop crying and whining. Maybe Meghan Markle can do an ad for Happy Shopper tissues, because all she does is cry "We are victims" every day, while Harry can do one for Happy Shopper toilet tissue to help clean up the mess he is making. No one can take them seriously, and that is tragic in itself. But this is the path they have chosen and have dragged innocent people into this sick and duplicitous game. The game is tiresome, And we all know the Sussexes are bad losers, but someone needs to pull the plug on this destructive game. And you? What do you feel about this opinion? Please let me know in the comment section below and we can discuss it together. If you feel preferred with my channel, remember to subscribe to it anytime you want. And like and share my video for your friends who also would love it. Now, good night and see you tomorrow.
Meghan is taking a short step to implement her plan, get Hollywood sources. And the love Meghan and Harry reached the peak of pride. Harry's constant unemployment, that sentiments went down. Love for each person is different, like flying a kite, the more loose the kite string, the higher the fly. Meghan is tying her kite string to a love affair. Harry is stuck on the side of the road. Harry is wondering what Meghan is thinking. True love is the most miserable thing. Archie was once again alone in the big house in Hollywood.